Hi, welcome to Coffee with Carrie. Here's your host, Carrie Lazat.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. If you are watching live, please say hello or stand by to type in a question. We'd love to hear from you. And I just want to say if you're interested in producing a show like this, or you want to come into our studio here in Bloomfield Township and produce a show, I invite you to come in. Let's talk about it. We can have coffee and get you started on something like this. I'm just going to mention our thank you to our sponsor, White Pine Coffee, who's a roaster out of Oxford, who's been very generous to supply us with coffee here in the studio, and it's what I would serve to you if you came in. So I welcome you to do that. Today I have with us Olivia Olsztyn Budry, who is the Director of Engineering and Environmental Services here in Bloomfield Township. And thank you for joining me, Olivia. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So, so you got your master's, I was going to mention this, and your BS from Lawrence Tech University, which is right down the street in civil engineering. Can you tell me, so how long was this your job right out of school and you've been here for a long time, or can you tell me about how you ended up here at the township and how long you've been here?
Sure. While I was in school, I worked for a private development firm, a consulting firm. And then I finished my bachelor's and went back to get my master's. And while I was getting my master's, I worked directly for the university for about a semester. And then while still working on my master's, I worked for another consulting firm that focused mainly on environmental factors. And then after that, I had some connections, some people that I'd worked with collaboratively through my consulting job who had mentioned there was some opportunity at Bloomfield Township. So I came to the township and I started in 2007, but I was part-time for just over a year and then full-time in 2009.
Okay, great. So tell me, did you always want to be an engineer?
No, I didn't really know what it consisted of. But when I was looking at universities, I had the opportunity to go to Lawrence Tech. I actually started off in environmental sciences. And after looking at the program and comparing other programs at Lawrence Tech, I decided to switch to civil engineering, and the rest is history.
Well, I feel like Southeast Michigan is kind of a mecca for engineers, just in general. There's so many engineers here, more than I think like many parts of the country. So I'm always just curious about that. So tell me, what do you do in your job as director of, director of engineering and environmental services? What does that mean here in the township?
So this department, we handle a very wide variety of activities. First off, we oversee all the construction of private development. So whether it's a new subdivision or a new commercial building, this department reviews the engineering plans. We make sure all the permits that are needed are obtained. If there's extensions of the public water system or public sewer system, we review the plans, make sure they conform with our standards and that we get all the permits. And then during construction, we monitor that work. We also oversee the township's water and sewer system capital improvement program. So that is where we have our own water system and our own sanitary sewer system that serves our residents. Well, just like any other asset, it gets older and it needs rehabilitation and repair and maintenance. And so we manage the program to say, okay, we need to replace these water mains or we need to rehabilitate this sanitary sewer.
So what are some of the challenges, I guess, that Bloomfield Township has that maybe other cities and townships don't have? Because I think we have so many lakes and just how it was built. So tell me, what do you think from your point?
Definitely the natural features of Bloomfield Township are very significant. So we have to be aware of that. Also, any type of development, whether it's a single family home or a commercial development or a subdivision development, we have to be cognizant of the fact that the township has regulations as well as the state for setback distances to water bodies, floodplains, and wetlands, which my department is also involved in the review process for any time a wetland or a floodplain is proposed to be impacted. So that definitely is something that is on the radar for all sorts of developments. Also, because the township, we don't own the roads. The roads are owned by the Road Commission for Oakland County. So that's another agency that we have to work with when we are doing projects. So for instance, if we have to replace water main and it's in the public road right of way, we have to get a permit from the Road Commission for Oakland County, and we have to meet their standards for repairs and maintenance to the road surface if we disrupt it.
So we work pretty closely with them, the Road Commission.
Yes, we work very closely with the Road Commission because the majority of our water and sewer are in the public road right of way. And then the township also has the special assessment district process available to residents who want to improve their roads. And we work hand in hand with the Road Commission for Oakland County through that process.
So I think, when we first met, when I first started a couple months ago, you were talking about other partnerships that people may not be aware of. And I think that there was the watershed one, I think was really interesting. Or tell me about some of the other ones.
Yeah, so Bloomfield Township, we have a permit from the state of Michigan to discharge stormwater. And we have the information available on our township website. It includes our stormwater management plan, in which identifies activities that we take to educate the public about the watershed, stormwater, the impacts that residents can have to stormwater, also activities that the township does on our properties to make sure that we're not dumping something down the storm drain that shouldn't be going there. But as part of that program, we are a member of the Alliance of Rouge Communities, the ARC for short. And that is a large group of communities who are all within the Rouge River watershed. And we collaborate together to address water quality issues because, again, rivers and streams, they travel through multiple communities. They don't start and stop at municipal boundaries, much like the water quality associated with those rivers and streams traverse through those bodies of water and are not limited by municipal boundaries. So it's a very good collaborative effort to address the Rouge River watershed as a whole. But we have a lot of information on that on our website. And then also on the website is a link to the Alliance Rouge Communities website.
Okay, cool. And then we'll add those links on the web pages because right now we're broadcasting on Facebook pages, on YouTube, and LinkedIn. So we can add those links that we're talking about. I guess one of my favorite projects that you manage is the Safety Pass. And I know that was something we wanted to do was create this map. So people who are residents of the township, they should have received this newsletter in the summer. And we did an extra page that had the Safety Path map on it and some features of that. And then we did a little video that kind of walked you through some of those features. But what is the maintenance like? I mean, what is required to keep those Safety Paths over 70 miles of Safety Paths? How do we maintain all of that? What's our responsibility?
Our Safety Pass system is very significant. It's really grown over the years. It continues to be a program that we receive a lot of positive feedback from. So in addition to installing the new pass, we always have to maintain our existing pass. We want to make sure that we're staying on top of removing trip hazards, where maybe the concrete slabs heave over the winter or they settle. So part of the maintenance that we do each year is identifying those locations and having a contractor fix them. Other maintenance activities include our retaining walls, because sometimes we have to install retaining walls for the safety path. So we keep track of our retaining walls.
That's the wrong picture. Yes. Sorry. I'm sorry. I said Safety Pass and I have it up here. Well, that's part of what's being live. So let's go back to this and I'm going to get up the right picture, but you keep telling us about the Safety Pass.
All right.
And I was like, oh, I have it right here. All right. Let me get the picture that I should have.
Yeah. So right now we do have two different contractors in the township. One contractor is doing maintenance on the concrete slabs. And then another contractor is doing maintenance on our retaining walls associated with some of the safety path. So right here is a picture of a retaining wall replacement on Hickory Grove. And they have to replace a wall that was built. And walls go in because of steep changes in grade, because the safety path has to be very flat for ADA compliance. And so sometimes if we have to build up the surrounding ground or cut down, we have to put in a retaining wall to stay within the public road right of way. So this year we do have a retaining wall program. I think it was a total of 13 sites, and they're just wrapping up right now. And then also this year we started a ADA compliance master plan. So we took a look at all of our pedestrian crossings associated with the safety path to see which ones are in compliance with the current ADA standards. We identified the ones that are not, and they could not be for varying reasons. It could be that if it's a signalized crossing, the signal push button is not correct or in accordance with the current requirement. It's not located correctly. It could be that
there's a lot that goes into it that people don't realize, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that program will be starting next year.
So can you tell me, so we have a millage coming up related to the safety pass. Can you explain, so is that covering the kind of things that you're talking about? It's not an increase, is that right?
Correct. It's just a renewal from the previous years. Yeah. And it covers all aspects of the safety path program. It covers construction of the new path, maintenance of the existing path, the ADA compliance program, the retaining wall program. And then also it includes other maintenance like trimming vegetation that surrounds the paths, fixing fences. We put the split rail fence in a lot of places.
Oh, and those look so nice. They really look good. Yeah. So tell me, how many people do you have working for you, and how many people does it take to make all this stuff happen? And some of these are contracts that we're managing.
Yeah. So in-house, there's myself and 5 other people that make up the EESD department. And then we work closely with our consultant, Hubble, Roth and Clark, for our capital improvement program and our safety path program, and also our any private development. And then we use other consultants as needed for other projects, such as a consultant that specializes in wetlands when we need a wetland consultant. We have one program that the township has done for many years is a program to manage spongy moth, or formerly known as gypsy moth. That was a contracted program. And so we started with a new contractor this year.
So I do have another picture to share. Hopefully this will work this time. This is the project that's happening up at Long Lake. So what happened here? What's going on?
So the township owns sanitary sewer that runs along Long Lake Road and also crosses Long Lake Road in this area. And the township received a grant from the state of Michigan to televise our sanitary sewer system in order to develop a wastewater asset management plan. And we televised a significant amount of sanitary sewers in the township and identified some sections, including this section, that needed to be addressed.
I'm sorry, are you saying televised?
Televised, yes.
Televised, because that means something different. I think it means something different to me than it does to you. So can you explain what that means?
Yeah, it's actually a camera, basically a remote control car, and it goes in the pipe of the sewer, and it drives down the sewer, and we can see inside what it looks like.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. So you have footage of that?
Yep.
Yes.
And so
I'm going to get that footage, and we're going to show people what that looks like.
So that project, we identified a section of sanitary sewer that needs to be replaced.
Mm-hmm.
And so this project requires the closure of Long Lake Road, both because the sewer crosses Long Lake Road and also runs parallel to it. And the area that the contractor has to work, they need to be in the road right away.
Yeah. And so we know it would have been nice to do this in the summer. I think we got a lot of, not complaints. We had a lot of comments about when the project was happening, but that was largely due to the inability to be able to get what you needed to fix it. Is that right? Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Materials across the board, whether, it's the township asking for materials or contractors or private developers, materials are in high demand right now. And we wanted to make sure that our contractor was ready to rock and roll because of the impact to residents and people traversing through Bloomfield Township.
So I'd like you to tell us what kind of a typical week is like for you. I know that there have been some atypical weeks lately where it was like you were working, pretty much every day there's something happening. So can you tell us what a day in the life is like for you?
Sure. Well, so like you said, normally I have a plan and it totally gets changed by 7:05 in the morning. But basically we're here and we interact with a lot of residents. We get residents coming in throughout the day asking for assistance with respect to their properties that they own, their developments that they're looking for. We also then manage, like I said, our ongoing projects. So when projects are under construction, staff are involved with both the contractors as they're doing the work, also being the interface with residents to those projects. So most of my staff are on first name basis or phone number, a dial away for residents in these project areas. So a lot of time is spent with respect to that and coordinating those activities between the projects, the impact to the residents and the residents.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I forgot to share our safety path map so that people could see it. So I'm just going to put this up here. And Steve, I think that's the link where we can people can download this themselves. So these are just some of the featured areas that we have along the safety path. So I just wanted to make sure we take a look at that. So what's on the horizon? What are some of the things that we might want to know about that are coming up from your department?
We will be doing our fall survey of spongy moth. So residents may see some survey activities starting in early November. There'll be no impact to the residents. And of course, any consultant working for us will have proper identification and they'll have bright yellow vests on. And then, of course, we'll have the safety path millage coming up in November, not too far away. And then we are planning for more sewer and water main replacements as part of our capital improvement program for next year. And we're also looking at our plan for repairs and maintenance of the safety path for next year.
Oh, and so if people see anything wrong with the safety path, we can't be everywhere at the same time. So really the residents who are using the path and they come across something, they're the ones that need to let us know that something needs to be repaired at times. So
absolutely. The residents, I've said before to the board of trustees, they're our best watchdogs of the safety path system. I don't have somebody, I'm sure it would be a wonderful job, but I don't have somebody who walks all 70 miles of the safety path every year. So many of our locations that are identified for rehabilitation come to us through residents. But then also residents will reach out and let us know if the vegetation is just growing over the path. So that is a quick fix. That's something we've done internally. But it's always good to reach out to the township.
Well, I just want to thank you so much for joining me today and sharing with me what you do and our viewers, what you do in the department, letting them get to know you a little bit better. And I hope you enjoyed Coffee with Carrie. And
absolutely.
Thank you very much. It's been, great working with you, and I look forward to doing so more in the future.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us. And if you want to tune in on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, we're happy to see you. And for the viewers that are watching on the broadcast, please let us know if you who you'd like to hear from in the future. And thanks again to our White Pine Coffee sponsor.